Cinematic for the People. Experiment S2. E09. The Yesterday Machine.
So I'm the one to blame for this particular movie. I was looking at a bunch of movies that were by an entirely different person. Like, somehow I accidentally wiki-hopped over to The Yesterday Machine, which I think is possibly the only way that any person could ever have wound up on this. It's a Texas post-war 1960s Nazi exploitation, I guess.
Okay.
Not exploitation.
Yeah, Nazi scientist gets the brilliant idea to use a time travel machine to change the outcome of the war, and
He just talks about doing these things. He doesn't actually do those things.
Incredibly boring things ensue at that point.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's bad. That's
This movie doesn't believe in transitions.
You are getting sleepy. Sleepy. Your eyelids are getting heavy.
so is she.
Talk about a mini skirt.
It goes with this mini budget.
You know, people underappreciate the baton.
If she spins that thing any faster, she'll take off.
If this movie had been made in China, she'd be a martial artist.
Yes, honey, that's nice, but can I have my tie rod back, please? We kind of want to fix the car so we can leave.
Well, there you have it, all you transistor radio bugs. How'd that one grab you? That
Roughly.
About the throat, mostly.
Kelly, for heaven's sake, it's almost dark. If you don't hurry up, we're going to be late for the game.
Margie, have you ever tried to fix a fuel pump to a rock and roll beat?
Well, I'm sorry it made you nervous. I just thought it was a good chance to get in some practice.
It's okay. Forget it. Nothing I can do anyway. At least not way out here.
Well, I wish you hadn't taken this crazy nowhere shortcut. Boy, this is like Lossville.
I know. I goofed. And I've got to get some help if we're going to get there in time for the kickoff.
I'm a teenager, by the way, and totally not like 27 or 28 years old.
Yeah, that's right. Back around the curve. Come on, we'll be shorter through those woods.
I thought he was more like 33.
And while we're walking, let me talk to you about a Roth
Oh,
IRA.
look.
I think they're really fascinating, and
we ought to
I'm
go
betting
look at
you'll
something.
enjoy hearing about
Look,
them.
you want to get to the game, don't you?
Of course I
Then
do.
come on.
Screw the man!
I keep telling you, castles don't have phones.
They're outstanding in their field.
They're also alone in their field.
And it's night.
Howie, it's
Pretty sure
cold.
they're gonna be late for that kickoff.
It's so dark. We should have brought the flashlight.
It isn't working. Batteries are
Is there
down. I
anything you
forgot to
can
replace them.
do?
So I want to know what kind of shortcut they could have taken through somewhere to get to the school? It's like they don't live here.
don't know what sort of shortcut this is, but there's apparently credits and a like funk fusion band out here.
Oh yeah, Daddy. Oh yeah.
My car broke down, but not as broke down as my soul. And so while it does not roll, I walk. Right on. Right on. Oh yeah.
Seems like we've been walking for hours.
Well, it can't be much further
Yes, it
now.
can.
That's what you said 3 hours
Hey,
ago.
there's a light.
Burning at the Frankenstein place.
We've apparently found the band.
Huh. That's strange. Campfire way out here in the middle of the woods and...
Smokey's gonna be hella pissed.
Kind of creepy.
So
isn't it?
that's strange, but taking a shortcut to school and having it take
Dad,
3 hours
what are you
wasn't
made up
strange.
for? I mean, what's the bit? Hey, now, don't point
Don't
that
you
thing
stick
at us.
your
It could go
wiener
on.
in there. I mean, the fire. Here.
Come on now, who are you guys? What
I'm
kind of a
not
joke
that
is this?
excited.
I mean, out here in the middle of...
Joke, boy. You think this is a joke?
Howie, I'm
Is he breaking the fourth wall or what?
Look
I don't
at
know
him.
what's going on.
It's gotta be some kind of a gag. This can't be for real.
Howie, what's it all about?
It's like they're filming a movie about us or something.
Honey, do as I tell you. You edge around
It's easy to
behind
do
me.
sound sync when, like, the other half of the conversation
Run
is,
like the
you know,
devil.
off
Howie,
screen.
not alone.
Do as I
Now,
say.
now, Jamie, when I say run,
youngins doing out here? You notice how he looks like Mitt Romney? Run, Marjorie! Go get her! Get her! Go get her!
yes, head for the car that doesn't work, that's 3 hours away. This is an excellent plan.
All right, now I'm getting out of here. Mitt Romney makes his escape.
These guys are good shots.
Maybe these credits will protect me if I hide behind them.
They also apparently have a floodlight running after him.
They really
Margie?
didn't get very far before it got dark, did they?
Margie!
No.
So it
I
took
think it was just he had the baton right now.
it took them 3 hours to get far enough away that he could run while being, like, bleeding from a gunshot wound back. They're terrible at this.
Well, look at what I found. Things are good eating.
Yeah, looks like some roadkill, Ma.
Meanwhile, in Las Vegas,
He just cut the field.
In the big city, at the Daily Sentinel, Perry White interviews Clark Kent.
Oh, Jim. What do you need?
I need my ever-loving paycheck.
What's the rush? Payday's tomorrow.
I know, but Reed said you'd have it
It's
for me
Mr.
tonight.
Peepers.
Oh, did he now?
Yeah, that way I get a couple hours head start on my first vacation in 3 years.
Relax. The girl's on her way up from accounting with it now. Where you going on this vacation?
Some place that can't be reached by telephone, telegraph, teletype, or...
As far away from you as
You
possible.
don't think we'd interrupt your vacation now, do you?
Why not? You guys did it for the last 2 years.
Jim, nice story you turned in. Well written. Had a lot of punch.
When he talks like that, he wants something.
As a matter of fact, there's one little favor I'd like to ask you to do.
My secretary.
Here it comes. As a matter of fact, here it is. The accounting department is certainly coming up with much more interesting figures lately.
he was talking about you.
See you guys.
Oh, come on, Jim. Well, this will just take.
Why
a
do
few
I get the
minutes.
feeling
Not
we're
much out
watching
the way.
one
All
of
you have to do is
those
get a few details
HR
on
training
the
videos about workplace
Carver Street Hospital.
gross sexual
Murphy
imposition?
called in from police headquarters, and some college kid was brought in with a gunshot wound. Here's his name.
Why doesn't Murphy cover it? He's on police tonight.
He's busy on the cat burglar story.
Who shot the kid?
That's what I want you to find out. May not be anything in it, but you never can tell.
Okay, I'll do it. But afterwards, I'm leaving for my vacation. Definitely, irrevocably, and
No, you're
finally.
not.
Do you read me,
Spoil-
Great
yeah, I
White
just want
Father?
to say that.
Only too clear. Have a good time.
I intend to.
So the pool says $20 that we can make him stay for another 3 days.
That guy was like a low-rent Carol O'Connor. And this guy's like a low-rent Max. Or low-rent Mike Connors. I'm expecting to hear the Mannix theme any minute.
Now, don't tell me. Let me guess. They sent you down for an egoectomy.
A what?
An egoectomy. They're going to cut out that big fat ego of...
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
funny,
my.
Funny.
I've got your ego swinging.
He looks a little like James Darren, doesn't he?
You got a boy here.
I would say more like Ray Liotta.
College kid. In some kind of shooting
He
scrape.
should be in a holographic
That's the
bar
kid
on
they
Deep
brought in
Space
this
Nine.
evening. But I don't think he's having visitors.
Well, could I speak to his MD?
Mm-hmm. That would be Dr. Wilson Blake.
Ah, yes. Blake of the Rusty Scalpel.
Oh, you know him?
I should. He broke into me once and stole an appendix.
Oh, funny. That's funny.
Oh, no,
He's in
that's not
his
his catchphrase, is it? Ugh.
Screw you, Dixie McCall.
Yes, that's all right with me, Dr. Thornton. 10:30 will be
His
fine.
spray-painted name plate.
Yes, I think the whole administrative staff should be there. Fine. See you in the morning, Doctor. Goodbye.
That's for he's scheduling his colonoscopy.
Come in. Jim Crandall.
Hello, Will.
How are you?
Hey, number one, how about yourself?
No complaints.
Can you spare a few minutes?
Nice wood paneling, by the way.
Are you on duty?
No, not really. I'm officially on vacation.
I'm officially on vacation, but I'm going to take this opportunity to violate about a dozen laws of HIPAA.
Just straight things.
I bet you're here for a story on that Ellison boy.
Good bet.
Sit yourself down. So were some friends of yours. They left about an hour ago.
Uh-oh, the local gendarmes, no doubt.
Right. Lieutenant Partain and a couple of his men. They talked to the boy for about an hour and then finally...
Wait a minute. Talk to him? You mean the Ellison kid's able to talk?
Sure, he wasn't hurt too badly. The bullet didn't enter any of his vital organs.
But the nurse said he couldn't have any visitors.
It went through his spine.
Not now. He was too tired after that session with Partain. I want him to get some rest.
Plus, the police
when
did
can I
kind
see?
of get
In
him
the
to
morning?
confess to
In
like
the
17
morning.
murders.
Talk, I gotta
So
phone something into the editor. I can't fool around on this thing. I'll leave on my vacation tomorrow.
Well, I envy you. We're so short-staffed here at the hospital, there's no telling when I'll be able to take a vacation.
Speaking of vacation, how about that guilt trip I'm putting you on?
He told a real weird story. The police have a transcript of it.
I'd rather hear it from you if you don't mind.
I don't think I should repeat it. I imagine the lieutenant would rather tell you himself.
Ah, come off it, Doc. You know Partain's not going to give me anything till he's good and ready.
All right. All I can do is repeat what the boy
it's so
said.
sad. He's trying to
But I'll
hide
warn you, you
his,
won't believe it.
his illiteracy.
Suppose you try me.
Well, this Ellison kid is a student at the university, a cheerleader, an honor student, an all-around popular kid. Early this afternoon, he and this co-ed...
Co-ed? You mean there was a girl with him?
Yes, one of the majorettes from the band, a girl named Margaret DeMar.
DeMar?
Wait, so she's in
Couldn't
the
be related
band,
to Sandy
and
DeMar, the
he's
nightclub
the
player.
cheerleader.
As a matter of fact, yes, her sister.
Well, that adds a dash of color. What about the girl?
That's
I'm
progress.
getting to that.
I've always said
You wanna
that
hear
there's
the story or not?
Okay,
the reason
okay,
that everybody
wait.
hates on the guys being in the
early this
cheerleaders is
afternoon,
because
they left the university
all
on
we
their
have
way
to do
downstate to that night game
is put on a
against
silly
Southern Tech.
outfit and, you know,
They
throw
had
some
permission
people
to drive
around
down
for
and start
direct
going on a
access
bus
to
with the other
all the
students.
cheerleaders.
They were running short of time.
This is true.
So they took a shortcut on one of those farm roads. Ellison's car started acting up and finally quit on them. They had to have help, so they started walking, trying to make it to a farmhouse.
Oh look,
Let's watch it again.
we're flashing back to something that happened like 5 minutes ago.
This is the time travel part.
What are you two young'uns doing out here? Quick, don't let him get away!
Back to the time tunnel.
Run, Marjorie! Head for the car! Stop, boy! I'll shoot!
He started running, and that's when he got shot.
Now, if he got shot with that in real life, believe you me, he wouldn't be just a little bit hurt. That was like a 56 caliber bullet or 65 caliber or something.
Could have been a musket ball.
That's the story. The way.
How did he shoot him twice?
You sure weren't
Yeah, how could he reload the musket?
I've heard some screwy ones in my time, but this one takes the prize.
Yeah, that was exactly my reaction. At
This
first.
is a terrible talk show.
What do you mean at first?
Well, sometimes I'm forced to alter my opinion by certain evidence. I don't know if you're aware.
Sometimes
Damn evidence getting in the way of my opinion.
Sometimes I like dressing up like a small girl and being spanked by grown
By
men.
a patient a couple of months ago. You know what that is?
Well, it looks like some kind of rifle slug.
Mm-hmm. I have a cigar box full of those at home. My brother and I used to find those in the woods and dig them out of trees when we were kids, back in Georgia 30 years ago.
There wasn't a whole lot going on in my town.
It was one
That's
just
right,
like the
it's a
one you're
tree
holding
egg.
now that I took out of young Ellison's body and gave to the police this evening. And if you ask me, they're going to have to dig a long way back in their ballistics file to find anything that matches that.
Yeah?
Yeah. You see, that's a mini ball. The kind of a bullet
Not a
they used
ball at
during
all.
the Civil War.
And since it's not rifled, they really wouldn't have a match in ballistics. I'm just saying.
And flail N2, N3, N4, and flail N2, N3, N4.
Ah, back when white people thought they could dance.
I gotta say, guys, I haven't seen this much spasmodic involuntary twitching since they took Michael J. Fox's show off the air.
Oh, man.
That's not right.
Unfortunately, the change in tempo caused a minor aneurysm for the trumpet player.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present our heavenly little headliner and collector of 2 gold records, the girl with the orchid voice.
She didn't earn them.
Sandra
She
DeMar.
just, bought them on eBay.
It's the girl with the the orchid voice. Phyllis Diller, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
I wish I could.
Sure, all right.
I wanna be by myself
Well, if you
when I
insist.
cry.
You
And
do
there's
that.
gonna
We'll
be
just leave.
some
Go ahead.
crying,
Go ahead.
'cause I just told my baby goodbye.
This is every Facebook post ever as a song.
Get out of here and leave me alone.
So she's sad because she told her boyfriend goodbye, but that's why she's sad, because now she's alone.
'Cause my life's already over. It ended when you told me goodbye.
Oh, now he told you goodbye. That's not what you said before. You said you told him goodbye.
You never get the story straight.
She said,
It may be one of those things like, you can't break up with me, I'm breaking up with you.
Never take his
However, I am taking applications.
and she has a microphone.
Hey, can you get a couple of menus over here? We're kind of hungry,
You got any cigarettes? Can you send the cigarette girl over? 'Cause,
down with the sorrows, 'cause I just told my baby goodbye.
I love how they're giving her, seem to be giving her stern looks.
I like how she's not singing into the microphone. Because I can only imagine it'd sound worse.
How she has absolutely no stage presence whatsoever. Like, she doesn't actually want to be there.
Yeah, her stage presence is to be staged and just stand there.
Why is it everything happens to me and my dreams all explode in my face?
Did you ever start to wonder that maybe the problem is you are the common denominator?
Oh, there's nothing to worry about.
Now, they won't invent the Taylor Swift hypothesis for another, like, 50 years.
I've got a right to my own private cry.
And yet, I'm going to keep talking in front of it.
The NSA would disagree with you.
Is this what happened to Yeoman Janice Rand after she left Star Trek?
'Cause I just told my baby goodbye.
What if she isn't talking about a man, but an actual baby?
Yeah, her baby left the crib. Oh, she left the stage before they were even done.
Come on, she was done before she started.
Oh no, that's okay. We don't need to.
Yes.
Sandy, are you decent?
Yes.
Two gentlemen from the police department want to talk to you.
I see he stuck his head in the door before he found out if she was decent. Hoping she wasn't.
Did you know for the Peter Papa?
It doesn't matter. You can just see right through the levers of the door.
This evening?
Margie? Why no? Why do you ask?
Well, we just thought she might have called you. You see, we have reason to believe she may be missing.
Missing? I don't understand. She's
missing
in Stephenville with Howard Ellison.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Moore.
She sounds like she was dubbed by a 98-year-old
we know about
woman.
it so far.
Quickly to our high-speed pursuit car.
Well, Lieutenant Partain, is it a raid or a payoff? Lasky, we got the wall to went to the boondocks again. You been talking to the DeMar girl?
So you know about it already?
Yeah, but not enough. Can you fill me in?
At this point, you probably know just about as
We'll
much
have to go
about it
back
as
in
we
and get
do.
a few more drinks
Why don't you
first.
stop by the office in the morning when we had more time to work on it?
Oh, come on, Fred. Can't you give me something tonight? I start my vacation tomorrow.
Well, all right, here's a little hug.
Man, this guy's really living a lie, right?
Well, you know what they say, if you keep telling yourself something, eventually it will come true.
Yeah, he'll be back. He wants me. There we go.
Mr. Moore?
He's just worried that if he doesn't
I'm Jim
find
Crandall
something
with the Simple.
concrete before
Can
he
I
goes
talk
on
to you a moment?
vacation, they're going to
I'm
give
sorry,
his
Mr.
story
Crandall,
to
I really
Kolchak.
haven't time to talk.
And the
I've
next
got
thing
to
you
get
know,
home
there's
in
going to
case
be
my sister calls.
aliens
Well,
and
that's what I wanted to
time-traveling
talk to you about.
Nazis and all of
Can I
that
give you a
stuff
lift home?
Kolchak's always making up before
Thanks,
he
but I'll
destroys
take a
his
cab.
tape recorder and pictures.
Well, they're kind of slow this time of night.
Well, all right, if you're sure it's not out of your way.
Of course not.
Mark,
It's part of
stop
my job.
advertising your beer.
I just met you, and this is crazy, but your daughter
matter?
was kidnapped
Mr.
by
Crandall,
Nazis,
I'm too
so
upset to go
call
home.
me,
You know my
maybe?
sister's missing.
Yes,
Do you know where it happened?
just about.
Would you drive me there?
She has a completely different hairdo now.
It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. Besides, what if she calls you?
If she were going to call me, I'm sure she would have done so by now.
It's nearly a 45-minute drive up there. Howie was picked up on a farm road just this side of Stephenville.
If it's too much trouble, you can drop me at my apartment and I'll take my car.
Yeah,
You're
shut
pretty
up.
determined to go, aren't
If
you?
my sister's in trouble, I've got to be near her.
Hop in. I need to go up there myself.
I'll just take a nice plot right beside her then.
I'm sorry, there's not going to be enough room for your band in the car, too.
You know, the sad thing is the music is way better than the dialogue.
Was that car?
I think it was just a car wannabe, really.
Lieutenant, we checked that house from top to bottom.
I can always dream.
Nothing there.
Okay, Lasky. As soon as the boys are through, have them go in and get some rest. We've done everything we can do here. Maybe the sheriff and his bloodhounds will turn something up.
Right.
Meanwhile, the sheriff and his bloodhounds are like, the roof! The roof! The roof is on fire!
Oh, he literally meant bloodhounds.
Lieutenant Partain around.
He's up in the woods someplace. Evening, ma'am.
Has there been any news of my sister?
You're Sandra DeMar?
Here comes Partain now.
Hey, Tomaine, over here.
Well, the good news is we think we've found her.
Lieutenant,
The
have you
bad
found her
news
yet?
is, how good are you at
I'm afraid
jigsaw
not.
puzzles?
Crandall, what'd you bring her out here for anyway?
I made him bring me, Lieutenant. Can you tell me anything about Margie?
No, ma'am, I think you both made a trip out here for nothing. Why don't you go home and get some sleep? He's right, Sandy. You should do as he says.
Jim. Somewhere out there in that horrible blackness.
Somewhere out there.
Those dreadful dogs.
Beneath
so
the
terribly
horrible blackness.
Oh, Jim.
Come on. We'd better get back.
He just met it and she's nuzzling him.
Back to your place, baby. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna start a forest fire there. You know, you gotta watch out for that stuff.
Oh, there we go.
No, I'm going to check all the antique gun shops this morning, as soon as they open.
How about the kid's parents? You contact them?
Lieutenant, Ellisons live in Denver. I tried all night to call them, but they weren't home.
How about a cup of coffee, Jim?
Yeah, black.
What about the kids at the university?
Always bet on black.
Ellison's fraternity
Coffee.
brothers.
Besides, if your
I
coffee
talked to
turns
everyone
red, there's
that
probably
they
something wrong.
like him. What do his professors say about him?
Bright, popular boy.
Wait, isn't he supposed to be on
Record,
vacation
level-headed,
already?
down to earth. Not the kind to make up wild stories.
I think he's finally
Another one of our
accepted
little
that
theories
it's
wide
not
open.
going to happen.
You just getting here?
Man, I had money on him making that
Yeah, I was out with the
plane.
sheriff and his bunch.
And have we got a Lulu?
Yeah, what is it?
The girl's sweater. We found it out in the woods, not far from a smoldering campfire.
I'll just take this home for
We gave the scent
research.
to the dogs,
Yes.
and they took off like Moody's goose. Well, we followed them for about a mile or two, till they got through the woods and into a small open space. Well, the dogs got about halfway through the open space, and then they stopped. Well, you've never seen so much confusion of tangled dogs in your life. They didn't know which way to go. The scent had stopped right in the middle of nowhere. It was as if the girl had just been snatched off the face of the earth.
Was that
into thin
a
air.
chime
Wait a
to signify a plot
no
point?
footprints, no tire tracks, no nothing.
Well, nothing.
It's nice that those are in here.
But this.
Well, so you found part of a costume.
Costume? This is the real article. I checked it out.
What do you mean, checked it out?
Look at the label on the inside. McCord Brothers.
McCord. Outfitted to the military. Charleston, South Carolina.
I checked with the Charleston
Those
department.
gosh darn
They
Civil
gave me
War
some very
Marine
interesting
actors.
facts from one of their
Yeah, like
newspapers.
that couldn't have been
It seems
faked.
that McCord Brothers, the company that made that hat, burned to the ground in 1869 and was never rebuilt. It's been non-existent for over 100 years.
There's that thing again.
This case is getting screwier by the minute, don't it, though?
Back you run this down to the
Well, that just skewers my hat.
How about me, Lieutenant?
Sure, go on home. You earned a rest.
Does that rest include a vacation?
Well, what do you think?
How was Mr. Marr when you left her?
Shook up, naturally.
No, what do you think this is? France?
Fred about this whole mess.
We don't do vacations in America.
I'm not paid to have opinions. I'm paid to put jigsaw puzzles together. But seriously, what do you think?
I think there's a logical explanation to everything. Two men were in those woods in costume and makeup. Anyone knows there's lots of guys around nowadays who collect antique guns. They belong to clubs, they have meetings and shooting contests every so often. A couple of them got liquored up a little, wanted to have some fun and scare the kids. But something went wrong. It's as simple
So
as that.
apparently they
My hunch is
stayed long
that they get
after
up
the
enough nerve, they'll
reenactment
come
just
in,
to wait
give
for a couple of
themselves up.
kids that they knew
It's a
were...
nice theory, Jim, but
That doesn't make any damn sense.
I got an alternate theory.
Guess as good as
A
mine.
couple of them decided to break off and
Didn't
have a
know this
little
whole thing is-
quiet Brokeback Mountain
it's spooky.
time, if you take my
Reminds me of something
meaning
that
there.
happened in Germany in 1945 towards the end of the war.
I think you got something
What
there.
was that?
And then the kin stumbled
Operated
in.
a small concentration camp near the Alsatian border. When we took it, we expected to find the usual half-starved ragged
And then
Indians.
one of them winded up shooting his load
You can
all over
imagine
that
our
one guy's
surprise
back.
when we were greeted by about 50 young people.
Seems legit.
Well, what else would you do with an antique gun?
That sounds a little hard to believe after all I've read of Dachau and Auschwitz.
I suppose he should probably just be thankful that it was
Here
able
were
to
these
fire
kids,
at all at that
none over
point,
21
really.
and some as young as 5, living in apparent luxury. Good food, complete recreational facilities, no forced labor. Remind me of a bunch of calves being fattened up for the kill.
You mean there were no old people in the camp?
There were a few, but not alive. We found their bodies in the rooms next to the ovens. Apparently, we'd taken the camp so fast they hadn't had time to dispose of the bodies. But before they left the night before, they blew up the largest building in the camp. It was some sort of a laboratory. And inside, amidst the rubble and blown into a million pieces, was the screwiest piece of machinery I've ever seen. Some sort of a crazy electronic apparatus. And half buried underneath it amidst the rubble, still strapped to a table, was an old man. Just barely alive. Our medics tried to save him, but they couldn't. Now here's the weird
And
thing.
did he know
This
the
is the
point
part
of
we
this
didn't know.
story? Because I'm not sure you do.
Trying to identify him, we checked the camp records with the prison number tattooed on his arm. According to those records, that old man should have been an 18-year-old boy.
What about the other bodies?
Same thing. Their numbers indicated they all should have been kids.
What type of experiments were they conducting there?
They were
We never found
experimenting
out.
on kids at heart.
Even the young inmates weren't aware of why they were there. They never found the commandant of that camp to bring him to trial with the rest of the Nazi brass.
And his pipe is gone.
His name was Ernst von Hauser. Did you ever hear of him? He was a German physicist, a contemporary of Einstein's.
I don't follow you. You mean you think there might be some connection between all that and what happened here last night?
No,
I'm not
really,
saying
I'm just
that, no.
seeing if we can pat it
But
out.
just
If you
suppose,
stay here until
for the sake
10,
of
I win the
argument,
pool
the
on
Ellison kids
when you
did
leave
see
for
two men out of
vacation.
the past of 100 years ago. That would mean somebody around here is tampering with time. Somebody was also tampering with time in that concentration.
Or they're just
Now,
people
wait a
in
minute.
costume.
Let me get this straight. You think that the machine found in that concentration camp was some kind of time machine, and that there may be another one like it around here. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just supposing.
This idea
After all,
this
they
is a
never found
terrible idea.
Lieutenant?
Well, he was right about one thing.
Captain
He's not
Office.
saying anything.
I want you to bring the file on the Maddox case.
I'm
Be right
really uncomfortable right now.
How am I ever going to turn in a story like that?
No, I think that guy needs a
your
vacation.
So, how are you enjoying things? Other than this particular line of let's revel in.
This movie, I took my headphones off because my brother came to walk through because we live in a rural apartment, or well, they do. I mean, it used to be, well, whatever. And I missed like the first half of that story, and then I got my headphones back on, and he's talking about camp, and I thought like in the woods, and I was like, what kind of fucking summer camp? Oh, I'm sorry. What kind of summer camp do they have? Like old people? And then I was like, oh wait, and I was like, oh no.
Well, they were in the woods. Most of them
No,
were, like, off in the
I mean, yeah, but like, I was like, you know,
Well, I don't really.
camp. I was like, I took the worst time to take my headphones off.
I didn't really get exactly how we got to that story in the first place. Like, you know what? I have a theory. You know, back in Nazi Germany, there was this guy that was doing experiments.
Right. So this one
What
time at
does that have to
concentration camp.
What does that have to do with anything? It's like, what?
That's not right.
So, for something that is supposed to be a Nazi time travel adventure, the fact that the Nazi time travel thing seems to not even be a plot point until almost halfway through is like this is less a Nazi time travel adventure and more this guy going all Dante Hicks, I'm not even supposed to be here today, about his newspaper job.
Yeah.
Is that we're just gonna end up with like, and it just happens, then a couple Nazis show up later, or it was just the story that, hey, these guys did experiments, okay, and I mean, we already ran into Civil War guys, okay, what else do we have?
Like, are they ever going to explain how the Nazi time machine somehow brought Civil War soldiers into modern day, wherever the heck they are? Like, I'm halfway through the movie and I just don't know what the hell's going on.
If we don't see Bill and Ted at some point, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, if the best...
Or a big blue box.
If the best the Nazis can do to try and take over the world is accidentally kidnap a couple of guys from the American Civil War with no temporal ramifications whatsoever, I'm inclined to let them keep experimenting, because they're really just wasting their own time and energy at this point.
But they have all the time in the world. It's a time travel machine.
No, it's a machine that makes people older, or at least Mark I was. That isn't. How is that a time machine? It's like, congratulations, we found a way to get fruit to the perfect age. We just, right. The bananas are turning yellow and stop. Yay!
It's like an inversely static warp bubble, theory of conversion. You have to jump out of it before you get too old to die, and then
it's a recursive inclusion.
You're just saying science words at this point, aren't you, Mike?
Maybe.
Because it's science word, Star Trek something.
But so is this movie.
It's a little bit more like the Zeta Cabinet from the Talons of Wing Chiang's episode of Doctor Who.
My brain still hurts from like trying to connect this Nazi age acceleration machine and the Civil War reenactors in modern day whatever, and then the girl, the majorette with the male cheerleader. It's like her accent's from the south, his is from the north. Everybody speaks like I can't. It's hurting my brain. It's
and
like
plus
how this will to live.
And plus how this guy somehow remembers this one thing that kind of happened that no one's ever heard of before.
And he
concludes this has something to do with it.
I honestly think the police chief was telling the reporter that story because if he told any of his police officers that story, they'd be like, Chief, we're going to have internal affairs talk to you because you've gone crazy. You're obviously crazy.
Yeah, so the person you want to tell that story to is the news reporter who's going to put it in the newspaper so everyone knows you're crazy.
Well, I mean, you can always discredit the newspaper report. You can say, well, he was obviously just trying to get out of town for vacation, so he made up this crazy thing that I said about Nazi time travel experiments. And
yeah, but then he has to deal with all that.
Turns out there was a goat man named Torgo kidnapping people in the woods. What do you know?
Is that a map of Greece up behind him there?
Give me the city then.
Yeah, hey boss.
Hello,
I think
Reed.
the police
Travel
chief here
again.
is in the middle of some
Would
sort
you
of
tell
major
Joe I'd
psychotic
like to
break.
postpone my vacation and stick with the Ellison story? Yeah, that's right. You know that Pulitzer Prize you're always kidding me about? Well, if this thing turns out to be what it looks like, I just might win it. No,
If I wasn't going on
nothing new at the
vacation.
moment. I'll keep you posted.
That's right, the
Yeah,
slow
I've got a little
descent
research to do in
into
the library.
madness of
Then I'm going to the hospital
urban
to interview
police
the kid.
chief.
Right. Talk to you later.
I should have told them I loved him.
Now will you stop trying to light the thermometer?
All right, Howie, you can go on with your story.
That's about it, Mr. Crandall. I remember
Okay, Mr.
reaching the
Romney.
highway, and Margie wasn't there. And then I blacked out, and the next thing I knew, I was here at the hospital.
And you really don't think, Howie, that those guys were just a couple of kooks in Civil War costumes?
Mr. Crandall, I don't know how to explain it.
But
I
I
got
wear
the
magic
distinct
underwear.
feeling that these guys were for real. I mean, like something straight out of Gone with the Wind.
Howie, what's your idea of what happened to Margie? Do you think these two guys grabbed her?
I don't know, Mr. Crandall. I don't know. That's what's bugging me out of my skull.
Yes,
Here's Mr. Ellison.
see how disturbed
Yes,
I
he is.
am
He
by
has
it.
another visitor, but you can go on in. Thank you.
Oh my God, no!
Sandy.
Hello, Howie. How are you? Hello, Jim.
Good morning. Have you heard anything from Margie?
Not yet. I brought you some flowers.
Thank you, Sandy.
Do you have a vase, or
sorry
should I
about
just
all
put
this.
them in your bullet
I mean-
hole?
It's all right, Howie. Now, don't you worry. Whatever happens, I know it wasn't your fault.
Such a bright and
Jim,
cheery room.
Have the police found out anything yet?
No new developments. I'm going up there in a little while and have a look around myself. I want to see the place in the daylight.
Would you mind if I went with you?
Of course not. I'd enjoy
Of course I would.
Howie, would you forgive us if we ran off right away?
Sure. I understand.
I'll drop back in later.
He
Bring
doesn't
some
look like he
magazines.
understands.
Yeah, true confessions.
No,
and
no,
ladies'
I've
own
only
journal.
been shot a couple of
She thanks
times,
Mr.
and you
Crandall.
know your
Those are two I
sister's
never
gone,
miss.
and I really love
See
her.
you
and,
later,
you know,
Howie.
I've been distraught. But no, you go ahead.
Actually, he kind of doesn't care. You notice he just tried to get the hell out of there and save himself. Romney. It's like a proto-Twin Peaks.
I see she dressed for it.
And they haven't blocked off the area, there are no police watching the borders, nothing. Okay.
How are they going to block off all of the area that they covered in their 3-hour tour of the woods? Really?
Oh, that's true. What was I thinking?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
And here's where we keep the dead people.
Yeah, this soundtrack is way too hip for the content.
Please be made
13.
Where did this house come
Looks like
from?
a typical haunted house, doesn't it, Jim?
Please be made
Yeah.
out of candy. Please
The
be made
meadow
out
where
of
they
candy.
found
Please be
the
made out
cabin
of
where
candy.
Margie's trail ended is supposed to be nearby.
Do you think this old place has anything to do with her disappearance, Jim?
I don't think so. They searched it and didn't find anything. Her sweater was found somewhere in those woods. They were obviously dubbed in the post-production. I think I'll have a look around.
You know, I would not be surprised at all to find out that the sound designer and the chief of music, whatever the hell that's called, for this movie was the same for my favorite movie of all time, Manners the Hand of Fate. I'm gonna go Google that right now, actually.
Research being done live.
I see dead people.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. Any minute.
Candygram! Candygram!
Now they're coming to get you, Barbara.
I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?
Yes, yes it is.
Foley work provided by Guy Dropping a Book Incorporated.
Why they wouldn't grab his pistol, I don't know. I would.
This is an escort mission, isn't it?
That was really one of his friends. He's trying to impress the girl so he can get some action.
You're never gonna run away from that band.
Why don't they just run on the road instead of through the trees? It'd be a lot easier to get further.
Are we on Lakuta Cloud Cam?
The hills are alive with the sound of time travel.
Fade out.
Fade in.
It worked for Doctor Who in the
What happened?
Patrick Troughton classic with the war.
Jim! Oh, the car!
I'm not going back, Jim!
Dude, where's my car? I don't know. Dude, where's your car? I don't know. Where's your car, dude?
Jim, someone must have stolen it.
I would have heard the motor start.
Classics.
Besides, I have the key in my pocket.
Well, this must be the wrong
Like
place.
no one could hotwire
This
it.
isn't where we left it.
This is where we left it, all right.
But it looks different here. There are more trees than there were before. And that fence, that wasn't here when we came down the road. And the barbed
It
wire
wasn't
fence
even in
is
the
gone.
previous shot.
Jim, we're lost.
I don't think so. At least, not the way you mean.
Jim, I'm frightened.
It's all right. Let me think a minute.
This road was paved, and now it's dirt. And there isn't a telephone pole in sight.
I know.
Jim, what
Because
is...
telephone poles are known for
I
being,
don't
you know,
understand.
flying in the
Where's
sky.
the car? Where are we now? Jim, I know you know what's happening to us, and you won't tell me. And why not?
Cabot. Cabot.
What's going on?
Cabot. Cabot.
Fantastic. Incredible. I never really believed it.
I'm so excited. Can't you see the excitement on my face?
Why doesn't he just tell her that they're on the other side of the field?
Right.
He'd rather
He's
slap
gonna
her.
travel through time.
We have to keep our heads.
Yes, they
The
are
best bet is
lost.
to follow this road and see
I
where
think
it
you
leads.
broke my nose.
So while they're on this really long, awkward walk on a dirt road, I did my research and I was wrong. There were two different people for each movie that was in charge of the music, and that really makes me sad because I thought I was onto something.
Maybe they had the same mentor.
Maybe they were rivals.
It's an ice cream truck horse.
So they've gone in the past. It's nice that in the past they still had tire tracks.
Art thine a tall mug of ale?
Jim, his clothing.
I know. Ours are just as strange to him, especially your short skirt.
Forsooth, I am Paul Revere, and
Friend,
this is history.
what year is this? Where are we?
Witchcraft! Witchcraft!
So we're still in the South, at least.
Jim.
Honey, I don't know how to explain it, but somehow we've been set back in time.
But Jim, that's impossible.
Impossible. I know it's supposed to be impossible, but it seems to have happened.
Did you say impossible or impossible?
Let's not try to figure it out now. We've got to get somewhere to find some help. Some way.
How about going back the way you came? Just a thought.
Whatever happens, I'm not going to show one emotion at all.
Cherry pie.
How long
Jim,
have they been
I'm sorry,
walking?
but I don't think I can go any farther. I simply
Well, it's
have
her fault for
to.
wearing high heels to go hiking through the friggin'
We'll stop
woods.
for a while.
I know it's impossible to follow through on this threat right now, but I am totally giving this a really, really bad rating on Yelp when we eventually get to the future.
My friends, to my little workshop. Do not be alarmed or cause unnecessary commotion. You are in no danger. At least, not for the moment. Won't you please step out? I am Dr. Ernst von Hauser. These are two of my assistants, Manfred and Wolf. Where are we? I told
And his
you.
other cousin
In my
Larry.
workshop. And I
Mannheim
tell you
and
do
Steamroller.
not be alarmed. What time is this? What
This is
century are we
steam, and that is
in?
roll.
Doesn't matter, my friend. There really is no such thing as time, except as a relative measuring device in your own mind.
We're not interested in double talk. What happened to Margaret DeMar? What have you done with it?
Please, Mr. Crandall, you will please remain calm.
What have you done with my sister?
Your sister is entirely safe, Mr. Marr, and I assure you I did not bring her here intentionally.
She certainly didn't come here of her own free will.
I didn't say that.
In fact, she never comes of her own free will.
Then where is she? Let me see her.
But of course. To the armor. Come into here. Now.
Will our mystery guests enter and sign in, please?
Contestant number 1, I'm the Pharaoh. Contestant number 2, no, I'm the Pharaoh.
No need for alarm, Mr. Crandall. She'll be all right. She'll be able to freshen up. We will even furnish her a...
How does he know their names?
Because he is the super scientist.
And he's from the future.
And there you might be. Just a few thousand years ago. She was serving in the court of Tutankhamun, one of the great pharaohs of Egypt. And now...
Which is also
she
here
is
in
serving
Texas.
Me. Quite an experience, is it not?
This is like a...
He looks like Orville Redenbacher's evil
I don't
twin
understand
brother.
any of it. How did you get Margie here?
I was conducting an experiment with a pair of gentlemen.
Well, no, actually, Colonel Redden, well, yeah, actually, he must have shaved the Spock goatee off if he's the evil twin. Now I don't know which is which.
They shot the boy. They might have killed the girl. Had I not teleported her here very quickly.
They shot the sheriff, but they did not shoot the deputy.
But it doesn't matter. They probably died there anyway.
Fantastic. Utterly fantastic. Tell me, Doctor, why did you send Sandy and me back to
1789? I admit I took advantage of you to conduct a little experiment. Oh,
Experiment?
A little dangerous, but you see, no harm has come to you.
super spectronic relativity? I believe that's what you once called it.
Oh, then you are familiar with my work.
To some degree, yes. I read up on you this morning
I've
in the library.
read the
after talking
Wikipedia
with the
page.
police.
That's pretty much it.
Oh. And what did you learn about me?
Quite a bit. I know of your early career and some of the brilliant discoveries you made in the field of physics, and that you were expelled from the International Congress of Physicists because of your theories.
Is that a reference to the movie or one of you guys?
Mr. Clander. But go on.
It's the movie. You just learned it.
Well, I know
the time machine is interfering with the soundtrack.
We are hearing the deafening silence of nothing
became
happening.
the organizer and administrator of his Department of Scientific Warfare. That's another thing that puzzles me, Herr Doctor. Why a man of your brilliance should identify himself with a fanatical madman like Hitler.
How dare you refer to Adolf Hitler as a madman? He was a great genius, ahead of his time. The world
And I should go because I have no time.
Accept him.
The world did not accept him because he was a lunatic, bent on enslaving it. Do you call a man who is responsible for the mass murder of millions a great man, a genius?
Anyone with enough intelligence to examine history knows there are times when lives must be sacrificed for the benefit of future generations. And he was willing to do this in order to lead his people.
This guy's the only guy showing any kind of emotion whatsoever.
That's where he was leading.
And it's totally inappropriate for
Mein Führer, I can act!
Thank God there were people in the world with enough courage to resist and to conquer it.
It's a good thing I'm showing that I'm pro-Hitler because I know he's watching me.
He looks like
You're right, okay, you're right.
he looks like he keeps reaching for imaginary jetpack controls that are like right here.
For whatever small purpose it may serve you. Let me enlighten you, Mr. Clander, on a few things of which you and the rest of the world are unaware.
You see, when the man and the woman love each other very, very much.
Or his doctrines. It was I who failed him. Me and the General Staff. He called for weapons, super weapons, to turn the tide of war in those last few days. Because of my inability to deliver those machines soon enough, we were defeated. It might interest you to know that during those last few months of the war, we had almost perfected weapons so far in advance of anything that had gone before them as to make modern warfare in all its forms completely obsolete.
Like that machine gun that was a Mark III and you put the label of Mark VI on it.
I know of some of your experiments, like the ones carried out in a certain concentration camp.
Oh, then you know about the agent machine. Yeah, they had almost perfected that one.
We also know about the nuclear-powered hand grenade. That one really went off in your guys' face.
Like the jets and the rockets that we used so briefly. We were in the final stages, Mr. Clander, of perfecting weapons that were truly astounding and against which you would have had no defense. A cannon that killed with sound waves, yet was completely silent. A giant
actually, Tesla made one of those already. But
and more, many more.
Tesla was a badass.
To perfect those weapons, we could have plucked victory from the jaws of defeat. The Third Reich would have endured, not for 1,000 years as the Führer dreamed, but forever.
But the fact is that you failed, Herr Doctor. Failed and lost.
you are forgetting one thing.
In
Mr.
fact,
Chandler.
you'd need some sort of machine that lets you travel through time if you were going to try and
even improved.
pluck victory from the jaws of defeat there. It's too bad you don't have... Oh, I see where this is going.
I want to nominate this for the longest explanation by the evil villain in all of movie history, because this has been going on for way too long.
Yeah, he's right up there with the architect in The Matrix.
I just keep waiting for the blonde to come breaking in and she'd be like, it's done. I defeated all of the henchmen and we're good to go.
He looks like he has a McDonald's hat on.
Margie, baby, Sandy. Honey,
You aren't wearing a slip.
Did I hurt you? Oh, Sandy, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Oh, I'm all right.
That's why I became a Nazi.
Now kiss.
Let us
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
Open this door, let us out. Please, don't let them keep us here.
I don't think she speaks English. Just
I
saying.
have my own underground atomic power supply. Here are the master controls. And here
So, are they in Germany or are they in Texas? Like, I really have no idea. What?
These are
Like I said, it's turning my brain. I can't think anymore. I've lost the ability to speak.
They've shrunk down to microscopic and have been injected inside a 12-year-old girl,
who's looking into a snow globe,
which is on the other side of a mirror,
which is in another dimension.
which was really dead the whole time.
The speed of an automobile. Is that too difficult for you to grasp, Mr. Crandall?
Frankly, I'm
Rosebud.
beginning to doubt my sanity.
Then you needn't. After all,
I'm beginning to doubt my sanity, too.
Even Dr. Einstein's theory of relativity. And my theories go far beyond his. But you are an intelligent man, Mr. Crandall. Perhaps I can explain it a bit more simply.
Let's go to the blackboard, where I'm going to draw you in painstaking detail all of my plan.
Aw, shit's about to get real, son. He using chalk on a blackboard. Oh, no.
He's going to teach you how to draw the human head.
Looks more like the monarch's floating cocoon.
It is going north. Toward the
What do you
north.
mean?
But the instant it passes over
This
the
is getting actually more complicated than simple.
It is going south.
So, my plan is we travel repeatedly across international date line, thereby going backwards in time.
To make you understand how my theory of superspace...
I've created a man of steel, and this man of steel will zip around the planet really fast and turn it back.
He went back in time and redrew the globe better.
In relation to
And then...
That's time travel for you.
Inseparable, indivisible, a space-time
With
continuum.
liberty and
The faster we travel in space...
Step 3 involves going back and founding the DeLorean Motor Company to make cars that we can then use to travel even further back in time.
I like how you have a Russian German.
Velocity or speed. Now then,
I don't really do a German accent. I'm trying.
is the top limiting velocity in the universe. In other
Let
words,
me explain it to you
there is
simply.
nothing in the world faster than light. And yet it is known that beta particles ejected from the nuclei of radioactive substances can attain velocities up to 99% that of light.
You keep saying the word velocity.
Now,
I don't
I've
think
always based my
it
theory
means what you think
on
it
the
means.
premise that there is no limit to space. The universe is limitless. Well, if there is no limit to space, then there is no
Then
limit
there's
to
no
time.
end to this movie, is
And
there? It just
no
keeps on
limit
going.
It's a giant Mobius strip of pain.
Because in order to get to the end of the movie, first we have to go to halfway through the movie. And in order to get to halfway through the movie, first we have to go to a quarter of the way through the movie.
It's Casino Royale from the first season of Next Generation.
Not Ray Liotta's motivation in this scene is don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
I discovered a new ray in the spectrum with a wavelength infinitely shorter.
The professor's not even looking at him. I think he's reading off a cue card on the wall.
I named this new ray Ray Charles.
I'm afraid you lost me, Doctor.
Because you can't.
I discovered that the velocity
I mean, he officially beat the architect now. I mean, it's been
in the universe.
in 14 minutes?
Has it been that long? He must know how to travel through time. Lost the last 15 minutes.
This is the reason why supervillains always monologue, because dialogues take so much longer.
This line represents an instant.
Why would you take the time to explain your whole invention to this guy?
In relation to our immediate vicinity in space.
He's just a reporter.
I keep waiting for the scientist to reach over there and draw Dick Butt with the chalk.
That room is instantly flooded with light. That is because the light.
Don't they have an app for that in Hangouts where you can like draw things on screen?
To cover that small area.
Yeah, but it wouldn't actually do any good because I have to edit this episode. The movie that we're watching gets edited back over all of this. However, as the editor, I could stick Dick Butt on the screen
to understand?
I upvote that.
The next time it shows up on the chalkboard.
Right there, right there, right there. Right there.
There he is.
There it is. Dick Butt. I upvote.
Heading north.
Yeah.
Over the north.
Yay, we're helping.
Then its direction became south. The same thing is true.
I mean, I guess they ran out of, plot, and they still have 20 minutes to go.
You know, as a actual time traveler, I have to say time travel is certainly just not this complicated. It really isn't.
Why couldn't he just say it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside?
Can we pause and then go back to the beginning of the speech just to see how long it is? And then
No. Only if you want to sit through it again.
Tell you what, if I can do it, I'll put a timer up.
Timer? Yes.
Timer.
Yes. Yes.
In other words, if a guy left New York for Los Angeles and traveled fast enough, he'd get there before he started.
You joke, Mr. Kraft.
Right, but
he just sums it up.
What would happen?
Oh, he put down the chalk.
Why are
He
you
put
telling
down
me
the
all
chalk.
My brain hurts.
The superior scientific
My
knowledge
brain's been done
that we possess, my friend. And
Is
to
the
illustrate
scientist's
why
hair
we would
longer
have
now than it was when he
only
started
had a
this
few
speech?
more months.
He had a much.
We were the slaves of time then.
It looks like he lost
Time
weight
was
too.
our master. But I have
Did he change
changed all that.
spies?
Now we are the masters, and time is our servant.
He is a time
Ah,
traveler.
you Americans.
There's bound to be problems.
Egotistical, arrogant lot. How proud and superior
I can't believe
you
he's
felt
still going.
as you strutted through the ruins.
Well, you wanted to see more of the German Nazis. You're going to get all of it.
Conquerors,
Dude
claiming
thinks
the
he's going to
spoils
put
of
time in
war.
a camp, man.
That is only temporary, my Yankee friend. Soon Hitler.
Nobody
will
puts
return.
baby. Never mind, I lost it. I had it. It's gone. He made my brain dumb.
Vive will deploy the temporal solution.
Forever. Immortality. The age-old dream of man is ours.
You know, I really wish I had seen this movie before I graduated college because this would have been perfect for a monologue class because I would have basically taken up the whole hour and not let anybody know.
That guy is just sitting there like shaking his head. Oh, dude.
There he goes again.
Jawohl. Good.
He said jawohl with a Texas
And you look
accent.
tired.
That wasn't a monologue. That was a
They will show
filibuster.
you to your quarters. We
Jawohl, y'all.
Is it over?
We want out of here now.
Is it over? Do we stop the timer now?
That is impossible, Mr. Crandall.
Yeah,
I must insist that you
Okay.
accept my hospitality. Now, wait a minute. Get your hands off me. Let go. Hornhauser, you can't
Go to your quarters.
Oh, come on. 10 seconds worth of action isn't going to make up for like 23 minutes of our lives of listening to him drone on.
Jim!
Sandy, are you all right?
Oh, yes, we're all right, but why are they locking us up? What are they going to do with us?
You're better off. You didn't have to listen to the speech.
Oh, don't hurt him! Oh, don't hurt him!
I guess he isn't going to save them at all. So, Denver.com, let's go to Fridays tonight.
Jim! Jim!
Spock.
Is he still talking? I'm still hearing it. I can't. I'm hearing it in my ears, even when I'm standing here.
Sandy! Sandy! Sandy, answer me!
We're here, Jim. We're all right. How about you?
Just a minor headache, honey. Is Margie still with you?
Yes, she's asleep. Jim,
Can
I'm
I get
scared.
her phone number?
What do you think Von Hauser intends to do with us?
I have to take my headphones out
But I
because
do
that
know one
background
thing.
static
Got to figure a way out of
is
here.
really killing my ears.
Sandy, honey, I'm sorry about everything. I shouldn't have brought you with me this morning.
It wasn't your fault. I asked to come along.
After all we've been through, you must be beat. Have you had any sleep?
No, I was worried
After
about
all
you.
we've been through.
Well, try to
I
get some
will
rest
make it
while I
up
do
to
some
you.
thinking.
Okay.
I
As
promise.
soon as Margie wakes up, I will.
Yes, not through the bars in a direction that she is not going to be able to see that.
Alright, so if this whole time travel thing is real, and I escape in the future, then future me could travel back to before I got locked in this cell, and leave the keys to the cell under my pillow right now.
Sandy, what is it?
They're trying to seduce me!
He wants to take Margie!
Kommen Sie her, Fräulein.
No! No! Sandy, don't let him
Come on, Z here.
Kommen Sie her.
No! Sandy!
Kick him in the nuts!
Don't take your hands off her! Don't let him take me, Sandy! Don't let him take me! Turn her loose! Oh!
Sandy, who is it? What's going on?
No! No!
What's going on in there? What's happening? What is it?
Oh yes, they really put up a good fight there, didn't they?
Margie! Margie!
The soundtrack does not care about the human drama going on here at all.
Wait, did she change?
She totally sounds like Rue McClanahan now.
No, Sandy, she changed. She's wearing a completely different dress than when they got there.
Yeah, totally possible.
Time
Like
travel.
those Nazis, they made her change.
Glitches in the Matrix, man.
So you see, my dear, there was no reason for all that hysteria. You've really nothing to fear. While I have never before tried sending anyone into the future, there is no reason to believe that the experiment will not be successful. And if something should go
You know,
wrong,
technically, since he sent
Even
people into
happen
the
so
past
quickly,
and then brought them back
you'll
to the
never
present,
feel a king.
he technically brought people back into the future.
That is true, valid point.
So when did the Landeliers show up?
epic facepalm.
Didiama. It is time you eat now.
You speak English?
Many others before you, they teach me talk.
You mean there have been other prisoners here?
Many.
Are there any others here now?
They all disappear.
There's a
You
show
eat
lot of big, powerful bunch of them, man.
A hot pocket,
It's
thanks.
all they give me for you.
It's all right. At least it's better than nothing. Didiama, you've got to help us. You're our only hope.
No.
Yes, Obi-Wan.
I can't
Yes,
help
our
you.
only hope.
But you've got to. You're the only one. If you could get hold of
No.
the keys.
No. That kill me. I cannot help you.
Please, Didiama, listen to me.
No.
We'll never get out of here if you
No,
don't help
screw
us.
you. No.
Please, Didiama. Please.
I bring you food. You eat.
Does this have gluten in it?
Sandy, see if you can persuade her to help us. It may be our only hope.
Help us, Didiama. You're our only hope.
Someone come. I must go now.
What's in those hairs?
What are those nose hairs?
Oh, it's about to get real.
Don't mess with the Egyptian.
This is why, you know, when you're a villain, you really have to treat your help very well.
That's murdering people.
And now I shall open this door for no reason. Oh, never mind. That is the reason.
This is a
yeah.
Stay away from me.
this is quite the jaunty tune to stab somebody with a shiv to.
Well, we wouldn't want this movie getting too serious on us.
Curse your sudden and entirely reasonable betrayal.
Yeah, don't help her or anything.
What the hell, Sandy? Seriously.
Sandy's the most useless person in the world.
Also,
One
I'm pretty
time
sure
she's down on the floor, and then the Egyptian girl tries to help her, and she just sits there like, whatever.
pretty sure you could still like save her with CPR at this point.
Can you hear me?
Sandy, can you feel me near you?
Yeah, let's just tiptoe over the dead girl who's dead because of me. That's perfectly fine.
Sandy, honey, thank
What
God
did
you're
you
safe.
get
Quick,
startled? You knew he was there.
Can we just leave it that there were some mistakes that were made and let's go now?
He strangled her.
It's all right, honey. Try to get hold of yourself. We've got to get out of here.
I'll be fine.
This machine must take a long time to warm up.
I told you, Mr. Maud, this struggle is useless. You will only tire yourself needlessly.
Oh, the Christmas lights are almost at peak proficiency.
Artsy fartsy.
Oh yeah, he's into it.
You got that machine on you.
He likes to watch.
Switch it off, Doctor.
And down.
Dear Marjorie.
So for some reason it doesn't work on chairs.
I cannot guarantee that, Mr. Cranston.
The chair is
I
eternal.
have never experimented with the future before.
You insane, sadistic. If you don't bring that girl back, I'll empty this gun into that warped brain of yours.
Seriously, though, how did the time travel Dr. Guy not see this coming? I'm not the real Margie. I was replaced by a Cylon in the future, and I'm a simulant now, and it's this future stuff, and it's complicated.
It's too bad, Mr. Xander. That you are not
I can explain it in about 20 minutes of monologue if you like.
Does anybody have a chalkboard? I can draw it for you.
Who would be interested in science after listening to him explain science? He's no Carl Sagan, you know.
Did he really have to fall over to shoot him?
Did they ever explain what time they're in right now? Are they even in present time, or like where are they? Did he ever say that in his 20-minute monologue?
How about the attic? You searched that, didn't you?
Yes, sir. That's where we found the Nazi soldiers and the radar equipment.
Then this house has some connection.
Apparently they didn't search it very well before.
Von Hauser's headquarters must be around here.
Well, we were only looking for a girl before. We saw the Nazis, but didn't think they were important.
Oh, great. Now a zombie outbreak.
Quick, shoot! Boom, 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 boom!
Lieutenant? Yeah? What is it, Finley? Jim, and the DeMars.
She's wearing a third. Oh wait, that's the dress everywhere. It's a second.
Where in the devil did you three come from? Von Hauser's country
God.
place, Fred.
Like,
We spent a
did
very
they have
interesting night there. Where is Von Hauser?
Must be like
Down there in his
on.
laboratory.
Shoes that time he went to the alternate universe.
What's that sound? That's the machine. You'd better stop it before he gets away. Lasky, you
Wait,
come with
the
me.
machine is so
Then
loud
you
you
stay
can
here
hear
with
it all the way up there? How come nobody noticed it before?
What machine? The time machine. So
Yeah, that
what
makes
machine?
sense.
All right, Professor, hold it right there. Get away from that machine.
And then he turns into a chicken, and then a fossil, and then a dinosaur.
Why didn't the chair go? He went and the gun went, but why did the chair? Oh, God.
If I hadn't seen it with
Pretty,
my own
isn't
eyes,
it?
Lieutenant, I wouldn't believe it. I know.
What he didn't realize is that he had not, in fact, invented a device that allowed you to travel through time, but instead one that made you invisible. They wouldn't realize that he was still there until the smell started to hit a few days later.
Well, I don't know what makes this contraption work, but
I don't know. Why don't I go walk over to that
I think I know
panel
a
the
darn
guy
good
was
way to
standing
shut
there
it
before
off.
he disappeared? Nope, I'll just walk the other way.
You know, you could just unplug the thing.
Then deadly timonic radiation spewed out, turning the entire southwest United States into a massive temporal black hole with multiple concurrent timelines overlapping on one another.
Time travel bad!
Davy Crockett and Buck Rogers on Tyrannosaurus defending the Alamo from Ming the Merciless.
What happened down there, Fred? Forget it. Finley, call Miller headquarters, have him send some of the boys out. Are you two all right?
Everything's fine, thank you, Lieutenant.
Why don't you take the two ladies home? Come on,
Both
Lasky.
of them? Yeah.
All right.
Let's have a little more bebop.
The machine? Mangled beyond repair or recognition. Too bad the big brass didn't get a chance to look it
For
over.
science.
But why, Fred? You had no right. No right, huh? Listen, the way I figure is like this. Sooner or later, some other joker is going to invent a machine just like it. Maybe by then the world will be ready for it. God only knows we aren't now. Hydrogen bombs
But
are enough for
if
people
they
to worry
invent
about.
a machine capable of time travel in the future,
Yes, they should
wouldn't
be left alone.
retroactively all of
Because
history
today,
learn
the world
about
has
it
enough
at pretty much the exact
Just
same
trying to
time?
make sure we'll have it tomorrow.
I think of what they could have done by going back through time and shortening the professor's speech. That would have been a service for all mankind, but no.
All we need to do is replace those four boop-a-dee-beep pylons with this giant spinning wheel thingy. Black and white circle that spins. It'll be awesome.
Up next, the Dick Van Dyke Show. And then the news.
Wow.
Well then.
Wow.
That
Type
was-
of speechy weechy.
Wow.
That was bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
God awful.
That was just... I mean, I love bad movies, but that was just...
You know, it felt like
no.
one of those movies that had the big moral point, you know, like the ethical, you know, like, if only we hadn't been burning down the rainforests all along, we wouldn't be in this danger now. Except the danger was time-traveling Nazi scientists that really, really liked the sound of their own voices, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing that we could do different to stop that from happening.
If he had the time machine, why didn't he just go back and, you know,
He
fix...
should have done that first. He should have gone back to Hitler first. That's the first thing you do. I mean, he just talked about it.
You could. You know what's happening and stuff. You could just go back and...
But he needs to do more research. You know, the scientist is never done. They want to do the next experiment. They've something else to try.
All those millions of dollars of research funds wasted. Ugh.
Yeah, how did he get his funding? You know, to get like his brand new facility in the middle of Texas.
He
gets
that Nazi gold.
How did he even get to Texas? And it is... I can't... And the chair, like, where did the chair go? And if it was just, you know, like, things that were alive, then why did their clothes stay behind? And where did all those other people that the Dee was talking about? And why the hell didn't Sandy help her? And, you know, now they like, is anybody going to discover the body of a 10,000-year-old Egyptian woman that's randomly under a field in Texas? Or and the guy, like, did they ever go back to the hospital? And what happened to the male cheerleader? And they just left him there.
Ran
Like,
for president.
Okay.
You know that.
But the most important question of all
The
is:
chair.
did the reporter ever get to go on vacation?
Did he get the Pulitzer Prize?
No.
The short answer is no. I don't think he ever got it.
Oh, he went on a trip, all right.
I think maybe what it was is the professor made like a super chair. He made a super chair, and that was what he was really working on.
The chair was a fixed point in time,
Save Hitler.
made out of, like,
Couldn't get the chair to
fossilized
go back
trees.
in
And...
time.
Well, in the 5 minutes or 5 seconds that Margie was in the future, like, where did she go? What did she see? We never find out. Like, no, so many unanswered questions.
And you know what?
The chair was a super weapon. I do.
And even though the chair didn't go with her, when she came back, she was back in the restraints. So was she just like in the future, like still like sort of like just floating in air in her chair? You know, this invisible chair in the past, still restrained.
The Phantom Zone?
When she beamed forward into the future, she beamed forward into a future where the scientist had succeeded and was still giving the next monologue to the next couple. She was like, oh
God. Truly a fate worse than death.